Hello everyone. Do you remember in the Bible when Moses parted the Red Sea thanks to the power of God? Well, what if I told you that was a lie? A fib created by big Christianity to take credit for... You know what? I think this is blasphemy. If you couldn't tell what this video is about from the title and thumbnail, I'm talking about a scene from Beyblade where it is casually mentioned that canonically in that universe, Moses used the Beyblade to split the Red Sea. And at first I thought that was supposed to be a joke, like, oh, look at this scene from Beyblade where it kinda looks like Moses splitting the Red Sea. But no, this is real. Watch.
You don't know the real truth about Beyblading. There is a tremendous power hidden within bays. Since ancient times, the existence of bays can be found in moments throughout history. The power of Beyblades have been used to change the course of rivers and oceans. They have been used to defeat many armies and create huge empires.
This isn't a one-off event either. The entire show was filled with crazy stuff just like this. There are a lot of cartoons that were specifically created to market toys to kids, but Beyblade just had this special sauce to it. And I'd like to talk about this today. Welcome back to Pi Arbitrarily Rates Cartoons He Saw as a Kid. Working title. When this show came out, I was about -5 years old. Not even a thought in my parents' head, so obviously I didn't watch this one as it was coming out, but I loved Beyblade as a kid. So I started searching this show out, however, it was very hard to find. Netflix didn't have it, but I found an episode or two on YouTube, and maybe found the rest on an illegal website, who knows. But one thing I can say is that this intro slapped. Not one piece of advertisement has ever made me want to purchase anything as much as this intro. In one of my previous videos, I said that one of the most important parts of a cartoon or TV show is a catchy theme, and that's doubly true for advertisements. Like, do you remember that week the entire internet was Stockholm syndromed into thinking that Burger King didn't taste like battery acid and Novocaine because of the catchy ad they made? Of course, you do still need to have a good product because then the Spider-Man burger came out and everyone collectively went, yeah, this shit sucks. The show focused around a kid named Tyson who wants to be the best Beyblader in the world, as well as his friends. What a childish dream, right? Who actually cares about Beyblade, right? Everyone. Everyone does. And that isn't an understatement either. They have whole stadiums built specifically for children to fight in.
Oh man, Beyblades are so cool! Is this your first time seeing them? Yeah!
That has to be the fattest lie ever told. You're telling me you've never seen a Beyblade? Yeah, sure, buddy. I wanted to make fun of that guy Carlos because he's such a douchebag, but I can't take my eyes off that 6'2" elementary schooler who, if you look closely, is clearly wearing lipstick long enough to think of anything funny. This is what sets the story into motion. This asshole is stealing everybody's Beyblades, which is more important than life, if you ask me. And Tyson is like, oh my god, how could you? I challenge you to a fight to the death. And this short guy is like, no, you idiot, his Beyblade is clearly better. Figure something out. I don't know how to fix it. So Tyson develops the running start launch and beats Carlos, then he tries to run away, and this kid who just got back from a rave shows up and backhands the essence out of this man, before proceeding to battle Tyson and cheat. He absolutely cheated. I see no reality where his explanation for this makes sense. Oh yeah, I just know how to feed off the energy of my opponent's Beyblade. Like, no you don't. Your Beyblade started flying 2 times. And you know, while I'm here, I have a few things I find a little curious about this guy. Schizophrenic episode aside, after losing, Tyson gets his Bit Beast Dragoon, then meets this kid Max, who helps him save a puppy from drowning, with their Beyblades obviously. After that, they, along with their new friend, enter the local tournament where the seating was absolutely horrendous. I mean, I don't know a lot about tournament organization, but I have seen how fighting game tournaments are set up and how seating works, and this is not it. They start the tournament by saying that all players that were not seeded needed to win in a preliminary match, where they would put a bunch of players in one stadium. And let's just ignore the fact that they said everyone would have to face Kai, the defending champion, because 1, that doesn't make any sense anyway, and 2, that just didn't end up happening. They lied. I'm gonna let you guess who got seeded in the tournament. 3, 2, 1. If you guessed Kai, Tyson, Max, Kenny, or any other character we've seen so far, you are wrong. It was this guy that just got introduced. And I mean, there's no problem with that, but Kai is also the defending champion, and he still had to go through qualifiers. That's like not seeding Mango at a major. Like, yeah, sure, he's probably gonna make it to at least top 32 anyways, but you just ruined the run of like 4 people for no reason. Seriously, they did not need to do Kenny like that. Bro was so excited, then just had to sit there and watch as everyone got massacred. while his Beyblade just hopped around in the middle of the stadium. Now is when the show begins getting actually absurd. Before it was just like, oh, this is silly, everyone cares way too much about Beyblade for some reason, but now it's like, oh my. Look, the Beyblade is spinning so fast that a tornado is forming in the stadium. The explanation? Magical dragon beast possessing the Beyblade and an indestructible defense ring on the Beyblade. I mean, yeah, I guess. I see this as a sort of precursor of things to come in the next series they released. I'm not gonna sit here and give you a long-winded explanation of the plot of the show, but basically the top players in the tournament form a team and they play in the World Championship, and eventually Tyson becomes the best.
Badly.
Take that! Huh?
The original series was a sort of a slow burn, taking almost 6 full episodes for the first Beyblade to spin fast enough to create a tornado, but this one comes out absolutely swinging when in the first episode the new main character Jinga is challenged to a 1 versus 100 Bey battle. Now listen, this isn't just goofy. This is super dangerous. Look at how they decided to hold this battle. No stadium, just an abandoned construction site. The Beyblades are now made of metal rather than whatever they were made out of in the old show, so getting hit by one of these isn't just gonna leave a scratch. Also, I have a quick theory. In the original show and Beyblade Burst, the next main series, the main characters have to learn new ways to launch the Beyblades, like taking a running start or twisting the launcher before they launch the Beyblade. But these characters never did. Why is that? Well, my theory is that it would be super dangerous. If a metal Beyblade goes out of control and hits a kid in the eye or something, Beyblade would have a lawsuit incoming. So, in order to prevent that, they didn't promote it in the show. Lame theory, I know. I'll stick to connecting Beyblade characters to World War II next time, thank you very much. So yeah, basically attempted murder in episode 1. But why? Well, that's because of a tournament made by an evil organization called Dark Nebula. Basically, the first round is a competition where you participate in local competitions or just battle other people who are in the tournament in order to get 10,000 points to make it to the second round. Jinka here sounds like a grown man and has over 30,000 points, which is revealed when he saves Kenta from these thugs called the Face Hunters, led by Kyoya, who challenges Jinka to a battle. This is the first time the main character has like a real battle, and it was already pretty wild. First off, Kyoya's Beyblade is able to just control the wind, not in the same way that the Beyblades in the original series would spin supposedly fast enough to create a tornado. No, he can just manipulate it as he pleases, basically an airbender over there. And you would think that he would win with an ability like that. But no. Jinka supposedly invents his special move, Star Blast attack, where his Beyblade sends itself out of the arena and slams itself back down on the opponent's Beyblade. I would call this luck, but we just watched a Beyblade attacking with wind, so crazier things have happened. Anyway, Jinka wins and Kyoya is mad, so the leader of the evil organization approaches him to make him stronger. Come to find out, this is actually a plot in order to give power to the legendary Beyblade El Drago. Basically, this guy here, Ryuga, is given the Beyblade El Drago, which is like the super mega evil Beyblade, just super evil. And Pegasus is its counterpart, the like super mega good Beyblade, just super good. These two Beyblades came into existence from a star fragment landing on Earth. Now, I'm not sure if you know anything about stars, but this is not possible. I read that right now and I had to do about 10 minutes of research to make sure I didn't sound completely stupid here because I'm no astrophysicist, but even I knew this is not a thing. In fact, through my grueling 10 minutes of research here, in this hypothetical situation, where I'm going to give them some leeway and say that rather than barreling towards Earth at a high speed like they showed in the anime, I'm going to say it just randomly appeared out of nowhere, and unlike what seemed to happen in the show, let's just say that what appeared was only about a spoonful of a neutron star, because unless we make it a neutron star, it wouldn't make sense since normal stars are made of gas and neutron stars have at least a layer of solid around them. What would happen is an explosion so big that it would vaporize a good chunk of the planet. I feel like somebody somewhere would have noticed that happening, but I digress. Jinka was born into a village that protects Pegasus and El Drago until one day Ryuga and Glasses Guy show up to steal El Drago. During their thievery, Jinka's dad dies and passes on Pegasus to Jinka, and Jinka's main purpose in entering the tournament was to stop them from taking over the world with El Drago, which actually seems very possible based off of what I saw. Now is when I'll tell you what episode they mentioned that Moses split the Red Sea with the Beyblade. It's episode 13. I'm mentioning this because he specifically says that many of the world's big events had Beyblades closely connected with them, which really makes me wonder, what else? 9/11? The JFK assassination? Pompeii? 5G radio towers? Who knows? The possibilities are endless. Eventually, this dude called Phoenix comes by and tells Jinga that he is not strong enough yet, and takes all of his 95,000 points. Kind of a dick move, but whatever. Come to find out later on that it wasn't just some random dude, it was Jinka's father who was supposedly dead, and look at this screenshot. I'm going to assume that this random website is correct on Jinka's height, because that would make sense as he is a 14-year-old. His father is, no exaggeration, more than 2 Jinkas standing on top of each other, making him more than 10 feet and 8 inches tall, or 325 centimeters. That is about the length of a standard U-Haul truck. Just like how I assumed the website was right about Jinka's height, I'm also going to assume that the information on this page is wrong, because this implies something horrendous. Anyway, after Phoenix is revealed to be his dad, Ryuga kills the leader of Dark Nebula. He doesn't just defeat him in a Bay battle, he kills him. And at first I thought, oh, it's probably just something goofy, like he just passed out from getting attacked by a Beyblade. But no, look at him. He looks like he just got his soul sucked out of him. So this is nearing the end of Metal Fusion, and at this point, basically every time Ryuga defeats someone, he just kills them by absorbing their souls into his arm brace. And during the final fight with Jinka, he starts actually turning into a dragon and throwing spirit bombs and stuff at his Beyblade to power up. But what's crazier is that Jinka beat this guy. When their Beyblades were literally sent into space, then came crashing back down to Earth, El Drago is beat in a stadium out, and Jinka is announced the winner after Pegasus materializes itself as an actual Pegasus and saves him from falling to his death, then just disappears into like some metal dust or something. Props to this announcer guy for staying so close to the action as the tower was literally collapsing. I said episode 1 of Metal Fusion came out swinging? Well, listen to this. First off, we're introduced into this chucklefuck here who interrupts some tournament they were having and is just downright disruptive and rude. During the time where he's doing this though, we find out that Jinka has left in order to find the legendary Beyblade with his Beyblade mechanic, Kenta, guy with the Ram Beyblade, and a talking dog. In order to find the Beyblade, they have to go through a bunch of crazy terrain, starting with boiling sewage water, a volcano, a snow-covered mountain, and then they eventually run into a waterfall. Wherever they are is not a suitable place for a field trip consisting of primarily 14-year-olds and a dog. At the waterfall, they watch a log get splintered into pieces from falling off the top of a waterfall, which the dog says will happen to them if they didn't find a way around it, which is scary, to say the least. How do they get past it? I have no clue. It's not that they don't show it. I just have no idea what they did here. I have rewound this clip like 6 times and I just don't know how to make sense of this at all. Somebody please explain this in the comments if possible. Next up on the agenda is to collect the legendary Beyblade, where Jinka lets out some solid inspirational lines and pulls the Bey fossil out of the wall. When they leave the cave, Jinka decides to take the Beyblade for a test spin and completely obliterates a mountain. I guess Masamune here didn't see or hear the gigantic explosion created by this Beyblade because he immediately challenges Jinka, where he loses. In fact, he continues to challenge him and continues to lose, but eventually he wins one before Jinka takes full control over his Beyblade and creates an explosion that physically blows everybody away. Also, I forgot to mention this in Metal Fusion, but this opening theme slaps so hard.
Beyblade, Beyblade, let it rip. Let's fight an epic battle. Face off and spin the metal. No time for down now. No place for backing down. Beyblade, Beyblade, let it rip. Beyblade, Beyblade, let it rip. Spin down, full play now. Bring on some power. Right to the top, yeah. We're never giving up. Here comes, let's evolution.
After that, it's revealed that a new worldwide tournament is starting and Jinka is participating along with Masamune and the Sky Tsubasa with the Eagle Beyblade. They go through and fight about 8 different countries, giving the show more representation than an Idaho public school, which isn't really saying much, but it's something. It turns out that during the tournament, Dr. Ziggurat, who sounds like a Ben 10 villain, was researching a device to make Beybladers better, and that resulted in the creation of the Spiral Force, which is the thing they have to stop at the end of the series. I'll be honest, that part was kind of boring other than the giant flying fortress that the supervillain had made. They did have a few cool fights along the way though, like when they open the gates of hell in a fight, or in the last episode when Pegasus goes into space for a second and then creates an explosion so big that it basically becomes the second sun for a few minutes. I would say that Beyblade should be banned worldwide when events like this keep happening, but I doubt even NATO has the power to stop these things at this point. This one starts out with another star fragment coming down to Earth and splitting into 10 pieces, creating 10 different legendary bladers that Jinka and his friends need to find. I would love to sit here for a minute and explain why that makes absolutely no sense, but you know what? Neither does anything else that happens in this series, so I'll just let this ride. Kyoya non-creepily invites Jinka into an uninhabited island in order to have a Bey battle, during which the star fragments hit their Beyblades and they evolve. A little after that, they save this guy Yuki from a Beyblade assassin who explains to them that an evil god named Nemesis has awakened and is ready to use Beyblades for evil. So clearly they need to stop this guy. They begin traveling the world again in search of the new legendary bladers. Hold on, who are these kids' parents? I mean, I understand Jinka because he and his dad are from like a backwater village where they believe that spin tops rule the world or something, and Yuki too, I guess, because his parents are dead. But what about everyone else? Don't they have school or something? I mean, come on, even Ben 10 explains some of it by saying it's just summertime, but Beyblade is like, nah, blading is life. Who needs to learn geometry when they could be fighting evil deities and getting caught in giant explosions? The first place they look for one of these legendary bladers is this other random island where, what do you know? Ryuga is terrorizing a village there. After a battle where both Jinka and Yuki lose, Ryuga leaves and says that he is going to find all the star fragments and use them for himself. And actually, I kind of agree with that idea. Like, in the final battle, I doubt that there would have been this much chaos and destruction throughout the world if Jinka had just gone around claiming these things for himself rather than whining about how that's not what a true blader thinks. He probably would have had a much easier time reaching a level where he can defeat the literal god of destruction, and really it didn't have to go that far. The original goal was just to stop him from reviving, so what if you just collected most of the fragments yourself? I mean, seriously, one was almost enough to stop it from happening. Rant over. Watch this scene where Pegasus materializes itself one more time, and while Jinka is riding Pegasus, they go from the atmosphere to the ground at an extremely high speed. Ignoring the fact that they just had this 14-year-old kill a man, he was literally at ground zero of that blast right now. How is he okay? Oh, he passed out, so he wasn't completely fine, obviously. No, I'm asking how he didn't die. He must have hit a perfect parry or something when that blast went off, because I see no other way he could have survived. I know I kind of sped past the original series, so it may seem like I thought it was boring or not really worth talking about, but I actually really liked it. Even while I was making this video during a small break I took, I was just munching on some food and watching some episodes of the original show because despite how bad it looks, it was actually slightly charming. But I can't really say the same for the Metal series. Despite how goofy it was, a lot of it was actually pretty boring to watch, but honestly, who cares? This show wasn't made for me. Well, it was made for me, but not for the me right now. Goofy lore and over-the-top fights aside, this show is a relic of the 2010s. Everyone who grew up on shows like this is getting older. I mean, seriously, I was only 4 when Beyblade Metal Fusion came out, and just about 2 weeks ago I turned 18. I can vote now. My point in saying all this is that all the people who are like me and still look back fondly on old cartoons like this, you shouldn't feel bad because you think they suck now. You just need to remember the feeling they gave you when you were younger, and this goes for people of any age. If you're in your mid-30s looking back at Digimon thinking that the original show sucked because of this and that, it's not a big deal, because there was once a time where you enjoyed the show for no other reason than that. You enjoyed it. I really don't mean any of this in a pessimistic way either. If you still enjoy those cartoons despite the obvious flaws, because then don't let anyone take that from you. Be yourself, like what you like, do what you do, unless it's illegal. I don't know if I shared the thoughts I had adequately, but I don't want this video to get too long, so I'm gonna split it into 2 parts. Just like with my Digimon video, I don't know when I'll make the second part because I need to feel at least a little interested in a topic to make a video about it, and I just don't know when that's gonna happen again. Anyway, that's about it for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.